The problem with the Christian coalition is not that they are Bible thumpers, but that they are bigots.
It started like any other judicial confirmation hearing, but no one expected this. Senator John Kennedy sat across from one of President Biden's nominees, calm, composed, but clearly prepared to press the detonator. And when he did, the entire room felt it. He read back the nominee's own words, published in a national journal nearly 2 decades ago. Words that called the Christian coalition not just misguided, but bigots. No misquote, no out-of-context excuse. Just her words, in print, in black and white. And Kennedy, he wasn't about to let that slide.
Judge Lynn, you wrote an article in December of 1998 entitled Person of Faith, Race and Religion as Experiential Knowledge. You wrote it in a journal called Perspective. And this is what you said, I quote, your words, not mine.
Now pause right here. If you're someone who's concerned about how religious beliefs are being treated in America today, you're going to want to watch this entire breakdown. So do me a quick favor, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss these eye-opening moments. Because trust me, they're not showing this part on cable news. Back to the hearing. When Kennedy asked point blank, "Did you write that?" There was no hesitation. "Yes," she said. "Well, I was 20. That's when Kennedy leaned in. "You were a grown woman," he reminded her. Not a child, not some anonymous blogger, but a Harvard student in her 3rd year, publishing articles in academic journals. This wasn't a tweet. It wasn't something said in passing. It was a published position, calling out Christians as bigots because of their political affiliations. Let that sink in. Now, sure, the nominee tried to walk it back. Said she doesn't agree with it anymore. Said it was before she went to law school. Said it was 2 decades ago. But here's the thing. When someone writes something that specific, that aggressive, and that dismissive of billions of people's faith, it's not just a slip-up, it's a worldview. And that's exactly what Kennedy was digging at.
And this is what you said, I quote, your words, not mine. The problem with the Christian coalition is not that they are Bible thumpers, parentheses, there are personal beliefs that often result from religious experiences, close parentheses, but that they are bigots, end of quote. Did I quote that correctly?
I believe you did.
Did you write that?
I did write that when I was 18 years old, or 20 years old, excuse me. I do want to be clear. I do not agree with that today. I wrote that before I went to law school, before I had any kind of
You were a grown woman when you wrote this.
I'm sorry?
You were a grown woman when you wrote this.
I was 20 years old when I wrote it. It was before I had a professional career.
You were in your 3rd year at Harvard?
I was
a senior at Harvard.
I was a junior at Harvard.
Junior. So you were 3/4 of the way through your Harvard education, and you wrote that.
That is correct, Senator. It is
Wow.
20 years before I became a judge. I do not agree with it today. I do want to be clear about that.
Because these nominations aren't just about resumes. They're about values. They're about mindset. They're about whether the person interpreting our laws can truly be fair to all Americans, including those who hold deep religious convictions. And here's the question no one else is asking. If this had been said about any other faith group, would that person still be considered for a lifetime judicial appointment? We already know the answer. What Kennedy did was peel back the polite talking points and expose the deeper issue. In today's political climate, calling Christians names isn't a career-ending scandal, it's a resume line. And that should worry everyone, regardless of your religion. Because a system that only tolerates certain beliefs isn't neutral. It's rigged. And if you think this was just one off-the-cuff statement, think again. This is part of a larger trend. We've seen public figures mock traditional values, demonize churches, and dismiss concerns from millions of voters as extreme.
We are thankful for the friends and bless everybody, and we love everybody, and amen.
I gotta go. All right, No, Mom, it wasn't the actual devil. No, they were just dressed as the devil, Mom. I have to go. Yeah, you did warn me about Hollywood. Yes, you did, Mom. Yeah, you did. I will. Thank you. She said she'll be praying for all of us. Thank you. All right.
But when someone turns around and says, hey, that's not okay, they're labeled the problem. That double standard, it's exactly what Kennedy challenged. And it's exactly what more Americans are waking up to. So ask yourself this. Do you want judges who can look past their own biases? Or ones who've already put millions of citizens in a box simply because they believe in something bigger than politics? This moment wasn't just about one nominee. It was a spotlight on how far we've drifted from respecting religious freedom and how bold you have to be just to point that out. Kennedy showed courage, but the bigger question is, will the rest of the Senate? Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you believe this nominee should be confirmed, or has this gone too far? And if you're tired of the double standards, of the silence, of the constant disrespect toward people of faith, subscribe now, because we'll keep exposing the moments others won't. See you in the next one.